Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to share this project with you today. Not only is it my very first project of 2021, but it's also my very first project as a member of the Scrapaholics design team. I created this based on the January mood board, which I'll show here. It's filled with a bunch of blues, it's icy, it's a super pretty palette, and it'll go great in my craft room, which is why I had created it in the first place. I was looking for some storage, and I've also wanted to create those stacked books that I've been seeing pop up on Instagram. I used Ephemeris tutorial to kind of, have a jumping off point. But this stack of books is actually quite large. I wanted to use the bottom for, here, I'll show you. It's got some of the greenery that I use in a lot of my projects. So I wanted to keep a couple of my favorites on hand next to where I create. The middle drawer are the pine cones that I really like to use in my projects, and I like to keep these close by because I use them in just about everything. And then the top are these fun little pom-poms that have been fumbling around in some of my drawers, and I'm seeing little mini pom-poms mixed in everywhere. So I had to get a handle on this. And I did this so that the bottom book, this one right here, is 4.5 by 6, I believe. Yeah, 4.5 by 6. And then this one is, I think I did 4 by 5.5, and then this one is 3.5 by 4.5, I think. Yeah. So it's a pretty sizable book stack. Like I said, I used her tutorial, and I just kind of made my own measurements. I liked her idea about wrapping the book covers separately. These are obviously just little sliding drawer boxes like she did. It's just my books are taller, and it's just a bigger set. But so I did this project with a couple pieces of chipboard from the Scrapaholics shop. I'm going to link it below. If you're not familiar with it, it's a great little small business, and she's got some fabulous chipboard in there that you're going to be seeing on a ton of my projects lately. For instance, this bike right here is one of the chipboard pieces that I used. Now, most people think, it is a very springy bike to begin with, but I really fell in love with one of the pictures on the mood board that had a bike in it, so I knew that I could kind of make it part of this little winter wonderland that I wanted to create. The snowflakes in the back are just Dollar Tree ornaments, and then I handmade some paper flowers to go around the bike and in all of the floral clusters here. Some of that greenery that's tucked inside I used on here. This is a piece of chipboard from Scrapaholics, and this is the rest of the pack. I had just used 2 of them. I used some of those pine cones that you saw. This is just a little tree, little mint colored tree that I had in my stash. And then this right here is the other of the chipboard that I had used. And all I did for the chipboard was paint it blue, and then while the paint was still wet, I added some of this blue Martha Stewart glitter. And by painting it and glittering it, it also gives the chipboard a little added strength. With this one, I ended up using some liquid embossing fluid. I use this Tim Holtz Distress Embossing Powder, and if you haven't used this stuff, it dries differently than a regular embossing powder. It's much grittier, And that's what I kind of wanted for this. I didn't want something super slick and shiny. I wanted it to be kind of, a bike sitting outside is going to be a little shabbier, I guess. But and then all of this is covered with a snow paste that I make myself. And people ask me all the time what I do to make my snow on my project. So I'm going to let you in on my little secret here. So I grab modeling paste. This is just a brand from Michael's that I'm sure you can find modeling paste in any big box store. There's also a lot better brands out there, but that's what I had on hand. I use some white chalk paint, and even though the modeling paste is pretty opaque, the chalk paint makes it really white like snow and gives it kind of a matte finish. And then once I've stirred those together, I apply it with a palette knife, and then I use my Tim Holtz glitter duster. And all it works, it's just a pump action. You move the nozzle out and then pump it, and it gives it kind of a spritz of glitter versus pouring it on and having it super, super chunky. This just kind of lets the glitter fall as it may. But that's how I do all of my fun faux snow on my projects. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to link the Scrapaholics site below. Go check out the blog there is an amazing team of designers for this chipboard company, let me tell you. So check back, and I'll have another project coming up soon. Bye.